Hello my dear friends. Me David Nolan, with a new history topic in our channel. William McKinley. Who was William McKinley? William McKinley was the 25th leader of the US, the final remaining one to have served in the American Common Conflict. Having filled in as a teacher before the conflict, he chose to contemplate law once the conflict was finished. He continued to learn at the Albany Graduate School in New York and opened his own work on after his admission to the bar. In the long run he entered governmental issues and was chosen for the Congress. He proceeded to hold the workplace of Ohio's lead representative and put his focus on the nation's administration. He ran for administration as a conservative candidate in 1896. The nation was in the pains of a financial downturn, and he vowed to reestablish thriving to the economy through high duties. He crushed his vote-based opponent, William Jennings Bryan, and expected the administration in 1897. His organization was set apart by quick financial development and he got the entry of the highest quality level demonstration. He additionally forced certain duties to shield producers and assembly line laborers from unfamiliar rivalry, and this move made him well known with the coordinated work. He was effectively reappointed in 1900, yet inside a half-year into his subsequent term, he was shot by a jobless man named Leon Czolgosz, and passed on a couple of days after the fact. Youth and early life. William McKinley Jr. was brought into the world on January 29, 1843, in Ohio as the seventh offspring of William and Nancy McKinley. His dad was a director of a charcoal heater and a limited-scale iron originator. After moving on from secondary school in 1859, William McKinley Jr. joined the Allegheny School in Meadville, Pennsylvania. Be that as it may, he stayed there for only 1 year before he turned out to be sick with gloom and got back. Monetary issues in the family kept him from getting back to school after his well-being improved. He began attempting to add to the family pay, first taking up the work of a postal assistant and afterward filling in as a teacher. Profession. He was 18 years of age in 1861 when the Common Conflict broke out. He enrolled in an Ohio regiment under the order of Rutherford B. Hayes, who turned into his guide and long-lasting companion. He joined as a private, was elevated to second lieutenant in 1862, and was released as a brevet major in 1865. After the conflict, he examined law at the Albany Graduate School in New York and was conceded to the bar in Ohio in 1867. Before long, he fabricated an effective practice in association with a conspicuous legal advisor, George W. Belden. McKinley entered legislative issues when his guide from the conflict, Hayes, was selected for lead representative in 1867. McKinley made talks for his benefit and lobbied for his companion. Throughout the long term, Hayes turned into an unmistakable lawmaker and was chosen as the leader of the U.S. In 1877, the same year Hayes turned into the president, McKinley won his first legislative seat. As a conservative, McKinley had a place with a minority in the Congress. He was a solid promoter for defensive taxes, which he accepted permitted American makers to create by giving them a value advantage in the homegrown business sectors. The following years saw McKinley become an inexorably huge figure in public legislative issues. He served a concise spell as Ohio's agent on the Conservative Public Board of Trustees in 1880 and after 4 years, was chosen as a representative to the 1884 Conservative Show. Significant works. President William McKinley is credited to have achieved quick monetary advancement in America during his residency. Particularly huge among the different measures he executed were his advancement of the Dingley duty to shield American makers and assembly line laborers from unfamiliar contest and the entry of the highest quality level demonstration. Individual life and inheritance. William McKinley became hopelessly enamored with Ida Saxton and wedded her in 1871. The couple had 2 little girls, both of whom lamentably kicked the bucket in their adolescence. Ida became discouraged after the passings of her girls and furthermore created epilepsy. McKinley remained profoundly committed to his significant other and watched out for her however long he lived. Shortly after he was reappointed as the president, McKinley set out on a visit through the western states, which finished with a discourse at the Container American Work in Bison, New York, on September 5, 1901. The next day he was taken shots at twice by a jobless plant specialist named Leon Czolgosz. The president was hurried to the medical clinic where he languished over a couple of days and passed on the morning of September 14, 1901. The country was dove into certified sorrow at the information on his passing, as he had been a much cherished and regarded president.